So the challenge is to complete traveling over 5,000 miles using only back roads connecting east to south, Quoddy Head Light in Maine to Key West, Florida. For this, we'll be using a 2019 DRZ 400S and a BMW 700 GS. We spent over a month saddling up and outfitting these two bikes. We're using two different bikes because the terrain changes. We've organized some switch-off points as needed. Day one objective, travel 350 miles north to Quoddy, touch the fence, call it a day. Couple hours in. What did I just see? Is that an eagle? Turn it around. I had just enough time to pull over to the side of the road, grab my 300mm, and snap off a couple quick shots before he took off. So how long is this whole trip going to take? I don't know. It takes as long as it takes. Lebec, Maine, most eastern town in the U.S. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. Well, maybe a little. The concept is to travel over some of the existing routes, like the NEBDR and the MABDR. Quoddy Head Light. You could say we touched the fence. So that point right there, the most eastern point in the lower 48 states. Known as the twilight hour. Well, maybe we're a little past the twilight, but the color is just great. That's just about enough miles for today. Found a hotel, gonna unpack, relax, catch our breath, get a good night's sleep. Tomorrow should be a good day. We've got good weather, and we'll be doing about 100 miles on the Downey Sunrise Trail in Maine. Well, we've made it to day 2 of our East Coast Backcountry Adventure Run. So this is actually the beginning of the trail, Down East Sunrise Trail. Not really well marked, but so we begin. Doing well, thank you.
Nice bird on the other side of here, John.
Oh, excellent, thank you. So far, we've covered about 500 miles from home, hit the most eastern point on the lower 48 states. We'll get a little squirrely there. And we came over to the beginning of the Down East Sunrise Trail. We'll pull over 100 miles of off-road old rail line trail. It's designed for runners, cyclists, and they allow ATVs and off-road vehicles. No cars. You know, so just a few things to remember. You try to stay in your lane. For those new people, every time you hop over one of these things, you hit all that loose gravel. The other thing that I like that some other riders don't typically tend to follow is gloves. I myself, if it's not cold and the terrain isn't too rough, I like to have these fingerless gloves because I can feel things. I can have a better sense of feel as long as it's not cold. And you know, I see a lot of people I'm riding with, they're not standing up. You know, you got to stand. You got to get up high when you're in rough terrain. Stand on your pegs. You get a lot better control. Make sure you got some tires that'll grab the wet terrain. Don't use your street tires on these dirt roads. God, you'll wreck. So far I haven't been disappointed with this trail. It's been a nice, even pace. I have seen a few people. Saw some cyclists earlier. Some cyclists. Every once in a while you cross a road, which is kind of good to know, because for some reason you have a breakdown. At least there's civilization somewhere. Oh, some pretty scenery. Temperature somewhere around 60 degrees. I took my jacket off finally. That was a blessing, that big heavy coat. It was freezing last night coming up here. Did about 400 miles last night. A lot of highway just to get up here. Oh, here comes somebody. Stayed in a hotel my first night. Nice room. Got out early. What's early for me? I don't know. 8:30. You go out too early, it's cold. Can't get the cold out of your bones. I do this because I enjoy it. I don't do it because it's work. I don't want to make it work. I keep working on trying to get my luggage packed correctly. You know, it's such a trade-off. You're trading comfort and luxury for weight. You know, you want to pack as light as you possibly can. Trying to do these trips with a minimal amount of clothing. You want enough clothing to stay warm, but man, I thought I overpacked last night, but it was frickin' cold coming up here. When I got up into town where the hotel was for the first night's stay, it was 48 degrees, and I had been driving in that for like 3 hours, so that's not like deathly cold, but the chill does get to you. Bringing a jacket with a liner, that seems to be helpful. You know, so one other thing that's helpful is if you can keep both hands on your damn handlebars. You know, you reach up to adjust your camera or itch your nose or some crazy thing, and you drive over one of these middle humps, and your front tire gets all out of control, and next thing you know, you're down the ditch upside down on fire. You know, you gotta keep your hands on the handlebars. Let's try to do that. I'm trying to practice what I preach. It's not like street bike riding, that's for sure. You know, you got your big old Harley Davidson, you got your big old Harley, you know, rolling 100 miles an hour with your buddies. You know, big heavy bike stays on the road, and then you jump on one of these things, as light as a feather. Just a little different style of riding. Well, this should be interesting, coming up on a cyclist, or two of them. We're trying to scare the crap out of them. How you doing? Thank you. So maybe the little luck will see some deer. Hopefully we won't see them splatter all over the front of our fairing. Let's not go there. So it's a beautiful morning. The sun is out. The beaches are open. Oh wait, I think that's from Jaws. They're using graded base to groom this trail. It's not exactly the most motorcycle friendly stuff. The hard packed clay and hard packed gravel is much better, but this stuff gets a little loose. There's a Subway. You can get a sandwich. Pizza shop just past that. Well, I think we're still good on gas, so I think we're going to go a little further. We've done, I don't know, maybe 40, 50 miles on this trail so far. So this is where we started, and we've traveled down here. We still have a fair amount of travel to go to get down below Bangor. I don't think we're going to make it today, but we'll see how far we can get. It's about 4 o'clock. We've got about an hour and a half left of sunlight. We still got maybe 20, 30 miles left, but you know, the trail is pretty clean, pretty hard packed, so the traveling is a little quicker than that loose gravel. If the trail conditions stay good, then we'll maybe be able to finish this today. Good day.
How you doing?
Good. I didn't realize you were law enforcement.
Oh, that's all right.
I got a permit to be.
You do?
On this road, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Here you go. I got a temporary one for 4 or 5 days.
Perfect.
Or 7 days or whatever it is.
Nice bite.
Thank you, sir. Sputnik Mountain. Here's a good place to stop and stretch your legs or eat your lunch. You ever get the feeling a train's gonna start heading towards you? Speaking of which, I think we're coming to the end of the line pretty soon. That's good because we're running out of light. So, what do you know? Mile marker 4. That's the first mile marker I see. I'm assuming that's 4 miles left to the trail, which is good because we've got 20 minutes left of light. That should work out just about right. Mile marker 2. Geez, now that I'm looking for them, they're everywhere. This is literally the end of the railroad tracks. So there's a parking area here, and the trail seems to end here at the Down East Scenic Railroad. Kind of cool stuff. Down East Sunrise Trail. We did about 83 miles on this trail today. We started up in Pembroke, and then we went to Matches and East Matches and Columbia Falls and Cherryfield and Franklin. And we started at about 8:30ish this morning, and it's about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock now. So we did some pretty good miles. We'll find an inexpensive hotel, hopefully, and call it a day. Do it all again tomorrow. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, you can support our travel by subscribing to the channel.